Good morning, everybody. This is Jason doing another little video, just asking those deep, dark, subversive questions that one doesn't like to ask, but we all want to know. And I do have a topic today to discuss in the comment section. So this is one of those opportunities where we can kind of just, let it all hang out, so to speak. Except for you, Jonathan, I don't want you to hang anything out. You keep everything right where it's at. The question I have for you is, what has been your biggest hobby mistake? And this can go into, an individual player that you might have started collecting that ended up just being completely a bust. This could be a prospecting scenario. You prospected a certain amount of players on 1 year, and then all of them turned out to be awful. For me, it's collecting a bunch of the juicers when I was a kid. That's probably been my biggest error or faux pas I've ever had. Was I spent so much time and money in Jose Canseco and Barry Bonds and Mark McGwire and Clemens and Juan Gonzalez and all those guys, Rafael Palmeiro. And then they end up being, a bunch of cheaters and scumbags, and so that's probably my biggest regret. So what is your biggest regret? Is it going after a certain set, thinking that it's going to be like this really, one-of-a-kind set, just to find out they've released a set every year for the last 10 years, Maybe spend a lot of money on a certain player, like a card, like even if it's a graded card, and then find out that graded card over the course of time actually is went the opposite direction. And it might be because a person was injured, or their career just kind of fell off at the end, and it kind of actually hurt the value of the card. I mean, there's all kinds of things that we can discuss, and I'm sure I'm forgetting stuff too. But what has been your biggest regret, faux pas in the hobby? And I'm sure this question's been asked before as well. I'm sure I'm not setting the world on fire with this question, but I just wanted to ask you all what your thinking is, because at the end of the day, this can maybe help other people, or it kind of gives us another way to look at things. Like I always really respect Phil Filmington. He really puts himself out there. I mean, out of all the guys that I watch, and there might be other guys that I don't watch that do the same thing Phil does, but Phil puts himself out there. I mean, he will let you know he made some pretty big mistakes, financial mistakes, or maybe mistakes as far as selling a car that he should have got more for, and he undervalued it, or he paid a lot more for it, and then now he's stuck with it, so he's just trying to get rid of it because it's not worth what he paid. And he's the first one to admit that he definitely was prospecting and trying to cash in, and he has no real entanglement, no real attachment to these cards. I don't know if he's ever really mentioned a car that he really wouldn't sell. And maybe he has, and I'm sure he could or would not sell a certain card or cards that he has a sentimental attachment to. But it seems like, for the most part, that's not at all the case, and that pretty much anything's negotiable. But I really respect him a lot. He has obviously the kind of funds where he can kind of, be a flipper or whatever you want to call it, somebody who takes a card, grades it or buy it graded, and then turn around and flips it, within, maybe days, weeks of getting it, trying to strike when the iron's hot. And I respect that about him. I think sometimes he gets heat from other people, that it's more of a business than a hobby for him. But I like his approach. Like he doesn't have any qualms about it. He puts it out there, and it kind of shows you the mistakes that one can make, and but also that can show you the awesomeness, the other side of it, where you can it could pay huge dividends for you as a person who might just look into the hobby as a monetary source of another source of income for monetary purposes. So, but I mean, that's one guy I see that kind of does it on a daily basis. It kind of shows you the ups and downs of card collecting, and he might have a really rough day or week or month, and then the next time, he's just like killing it. So I think it's great. But I mean, like I said, we all have scenarios like that, I think, and I think it's really great that, we are able to learn from one another, figure out what works for us, try not to do them again, You know, and I think that's great, for sure. I know now it seems like the hobby, if you really want to make money, it's, you know, trying to avoid any faux pas, so to speak, or any mistakes, is everything has to go that graded route. I do believe there is a ceiling with that. I do really believe there is a ceiling with the graded cars, because I don't know how you all feel. This might actually be another topic for another day, but I believe that, you know, the ceiling will be hit or the floor will fall out on that, because, you know, when you start grading a Joe, what is it, like a Joey, was it Joe Nicro, Phil Necro, or Joey Necro, or whatever their names are, and these cars that are like literally a quarter all day long, and now they're like, you know, 15 and 20 bucks Gym Mint 10s for like a 1978 or 1981 Joe Necro card or Phil Necro card. I mean, come on, guys. That card is not worth $20 on a good day. Even if it's his best day, that card's not worth that. And so when you start having cars because they get labeled Gym Mint 10s and all this other nonsense for a car that you could probably get for like probably free, that's in Gym Mint condition but raw, I mean, there has to be some ceiling to this at some point. I mean, I don't know. Maybe you all disagree. It doesn't make sense to me. You know, a Jackie Robinson graded card, yes, I get that. Like 100%. Like that card will definitely go up in value, and as it should. But I mean, you know, eventually if you just flood the markets with Joe Necros or, you know, Kirk Gibson rookie cards, and they're all, you know, it turns cards that are like really worthless in the big scheme of things. But because they have a little 9 next to it or a 10 now, you know, all of a sudden these cards become valuable. It really is mind-boggling, quite frankly, that we know these cards at all aren't worth it, but we kind of kid ourselves and be like, oh, well, you know, it definitely is worth more now because it's all slabbed up. We got that slab cabbage on it, you know? It's oozing slabbage. I don't know. So, I mean, that just, to me, that might be another one for another day, but you all know me, I have diarrhea of the mouth, so it's sometimes hard for me to stick to my guns, stick to my topics here. I just kind of go all over the place. But anyways, guys, so kind of circling the wagons, what has been your biggest faux pas regret in the collecting business, either as a child or as somebody, you know, yesterday? And, you know, share that with us, with me, with us, the community, and just in the comments. You don't need to do like, I'm not asking for like a video or necessarily. It's not like that at all. Just kind of like to see what other people say. So, anyways, guys, hope you all enjoyed, and I'm going to try to actually keep this under 10 minutes, shockingly. But definitely keep coming back for more videos if you like all these kind of things. I really get some, like I said, I've got a lot of traction with this. You know, it seems to be a popular little segment I do. And I think that's great. I am happy with that because I was trying to find something that might be a little different since the live stream kind of, you know, it is what it is. And so I'm trying to think of something that might be, you know, not my typical videos that people could come for. And I'm glad this has kind of found an audience. So I greatly appreciate all you guys, even the ones who don't like me, coming to watch. So anyways, guys, until next time, peace, love, and some hair grease, and I'm out.